It's not too late. Yes, it is.
It is the 10-year anniversary of DMC Devil May Cry, the very controversial remake that the OG fans love to shit on. Throughout the years, I heard so many people say they hate this game, but I remember playing this game and having a great experience. I loved this game, and I couldn't understand why so many people hated it. I still can't in 2023. So I decided to replay the game to see if there was something I was missing, and here's the thing. I still love the game. I never completed the first 3 games, which I guess you could consider why I would love this one instead of hate it. Some people will not consider me a real fan, and it doesn't matter what I think, but hear me out. I have some things to say here. Why does everyone hate this game? I've done some extensive research, and this is everything I've discovered. Dante is cringe! That's all I hear nowadays about why this game was hated so much. Every time I ask people what they think of this title, that's the first thing I hear them say. Dante is such a prick and he says the cringiest things I've ever heard. They shat on his legacy. After hearing that, my first thought is seeing Dante dance with roses in his mouth and dancing like Michael Jackson and all the other weird things he does in the originals, but in a situation like this, I would stay cordial. I've also heard about the conflict between the developers and fans, and from what I can see, both parties were in the wrong. I guess I'd say the developers a little more considering they are under a professional working setting, and you don't treat your customers that way. I won't go into detail on all of those shenanigans, but I'm sure you can Google what exactly went on. But what else? Is that enough to completely shit on a game? Is a character's dialogue and actions enough to hate a game so much? There are plenty of characters that are hate-worthy in games, but we still play them and we still love them. I guess it is enough to hate though, because I've seen it happen with this game. I of course know people have their own opinions, but let's take a closer look at this game. This game was made by Ninja Theory. Capcom wanted to create a modern take on this beloved series to appeal to Western audiences more, mainly because people weren't really into Devil May Cry 4. Which I also find to be underrated, but that's besides the point. What I find to be the craziest part about this is how Capcom made Ninja Theory change the tone of this remake. Yes, it's a remake, but the team at Ninja Theory was huge fans of the original series and wanted to keep some of the original identity in their take on it. Capcom didn't want it to be faithful and wanted to change it entirely. Sometime later, DMC Devil May Cry was born. I feel they wanted to just start over. Maybe they felt like there was nowhere else to take their Dante story-wise, so they stripped it back down to the basics and created a coming-of-age story, and I think they did it well. He's not the same Dante we know in the original, and I'm so glad he's not. This Dante is young and angsty, and yes, he's a prick. He's immature and he doesn't care about the things around him. He has no family, no friends, just him, his guns, and his sword. And sometimes some babes. That's it. He suddenly gets thrown into a world much more complicated than what's on the surface, and he tries to get himself out of it, but he can't. He connects with his long-lost brother Virgil and learns about his past, about what really happened with his mother and father, which is more than enough reason to build the strength and courage to do what's right. You find that he's not just a douche with a dirty mouth. He does have a heart and he does care. His mother was brutally murdered and his father was punished by an eternity of torture by the demon who now owns basically everything on Earth. He takes it upon himself to do what's right to stop not just Mundus, but the others that are in leagues with him. But good lord, it gets even worse. He's forced to stop his brother who lied to him and used him to gain his own power over the world. That takes a lot of strength and it's heroic. I love it.
What did you just say?
And we fully don't see him come into the Dante we might know and love until the very end. Let's talk about the design of the game. It's so unique and beautifully done. People hate Dante's design because he doesn't have the white hair. They hate it even more due to the gag of the OG design in the beginning.
Not in a million years.
I understand the hate, but I'm able to look over it. It is kind of funny. He does eventually get the white hair once he releases his devil trigger enough, but all the characters as well. I loved Virgil's new look and the boss battles were very cool looking. The environment was beautiful, but what was even better was experiencing the world while it was in limbo. I think that was a very unique way of bringing the demons into the world for Dante to fight. The world breaks apart and contorted itself into a mangled up version of the same place you were at seconds before. The colors were vibrant and fresh, which really made the game stand out from all the others. Nobody can deny that. Love it or hate it, it's true either way. The gameplay was incredible. I don't hear too many people complaining about the gameplay mechanics. It's changed slightly for ease of play by veterans and newcomers of the hack and slash genre, but I find the gameplay to be perfect. I can admit, to me it feels a little slower compared to the other games, but it works. I love the different weapons you used, and being able to switch them on the fly felt so smooth. You had your main weapons, Rebellion and Ebony and Ivory, but you later gain a mixture of various demon and angel weapons on top of a shotgun and explosive dart launcher. The enemy types were unique. Most enemies were designed to look like nightmare-fueled mannequins, which are terrifying in itself, but they varied in fighting to spice up gameplay, which was okay. But I found the fighting pretty easy. I don't think I died once during my replay of this game, and I played it on the hardest difficulty. They did have a few other enemy types that could only be defeated with your angel or demon weapons, but even that didn't cause an issue. The only real gripe I have with this game was the boss battles. They were cool and flashy, but they had no real difficulty to them, and they felt so repetitive. I killed the succubus in less than 5 minutes. 1, due to me knowing exactly what to do, and 2, it being so easy.
I think you're all mixed up.
I know people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. I know there have been others saying the same things I've said and get hated on, but I can't act like I'm not a fan of this game. If anything, I'd say it's one of my favorites in the franchise. Call me cringe, I guess. DMC is not a bad remake, and it's not a bad game. It's a very competent game. I'm confident in saying it's a strong title and succeeds in almost everything it was made to do. A remake that doesn't follow the original source material, but instead steers off into an origin coming-of-age story about the hero we all love. If we could have given the game a chance, who knows, we could have had the same Dante from the originals. Dante would have grown and developed into the one we know and love. I'm not saying the OG fans that hate the game are wrong, I'm just saying they have a very strong love for the original games and the original Dante, and seeing this leaves a bad taste in their mouth. I'd just love to not hear all the hate with it, but we don't always get what we want. I give DMC Devil May Cry an A. What do you think of DMC? Did you all enjoy it or hate it? Let me know down in the comments down below. I want to hear your all's opinions on this topic so I can get a better understanding on all of the hate. And don't forget to drop a like. Videos in the future. And until next time, take it easy, bubs.